Carlos thought he had the perfect setup. A popular reality show, loyal viewers, and a cast full of strong personalities that brought just enough drama to keep things interesting. But what he either didn't notice or chose to ignore was that the heart of love and marriage, Huntsville, was never just about messy relationships or explosive arguments. It was always about one person, Melody Sherry. When Melody walked away, she didn't just leave a TV set. She took the soul of the entire show with her. To be fair, the show was designed to follow couples juggling love, careers, and family life in Huntsville, Alabama. But let's be honest, most fans weren't tuning in to watch Marcel dodge tough conversations or Stormy start the same argument in different ways. The connection, the emotion, the spark, it all came from Melody. She wasn't just part of the story, she was the story. And now that she's gone, the gaps are painfully obvious. When Love and Marriage, Huntsville first started, no one expected it to blow up. It looked and felt like a small, local production. The lighting was off, the sound was hit or miss, and it didn't feel polished. But then Melody stepped in front of the camera, and everything changed. She was open, real, and painfully honest, especially about the breakdown of her marriage. She didn't sugarcoat anything. She showed her raw emotions, shared her struggles, and let people into her life. And viewers felt that. Her journey with Martel was chaotic, sure, but it was authentic. The cheating, the heartbreak, trying to rebuild her life as a single mom, those weren't just episodes. That was her truth. And fans kept showing up, week after week, not just for the drama, but to support her. She became the emotional center of the show. Owen knew this too. Every trailer, every teaser, every highlight, Melody was always front and center. Why? Because she delivered. Whether she was crying, standing up for herself, or clapping back at castmates, she created the moments that kept the internet buzzing. But success comes with a cost. Behind the scenes, Melody was juggling a lot: businesses, motherhood, a music career, and constant shade from others on the cast. It became exhausting. Eventually, she decided it wasn't worth it anymore. Her exit wasn't about stirring up drama, it was about finding peace. She was tired of carrying an entire franchise on her back while being treated like just another cast member. What Owen didn't seem to get was that she wasn't just one of the characters, she was the engine of the whole thing. The moment she left, the energy shifted. They tried to adjust. Suddenly Letitia and Marcel were pushed into the spotlight. Stormy was framed as the new breakout star. But screen time doesn't equal star power. Without someone like Melody to hold it all together, the show started falling apart. The chemistry that used to make the show exciting was gone. The fights felt staged. The emotional connection disappeared. And fans noticed quickly. Social media was flooded with messages. No Melody, no show. Old scenes of her were reposted, her quotes were shared, and people weren't just missing her, they were upset that the network thought no one would notice she was gone. Ratings didn't just dip, they nosedived. Viewer engagement dropped fast. For the first time in years, no one was really talking about Love and Marriage, Huntsville anymore. Owen tried to fix things behind the scenes. They held emergency meetings, rewrote scripts, and even reached out to Melody, asking her to return even just for a short scene. But she stayed quiet. She had moved on. Without her, the cast dynamics completely collapsed. The layered drama that once made the show so addictive turned into loud, unfocused bickering. Letitia tried to take the lead, but with no strong storyline or emotional weight, her scenes fell flat. Marcel leaned into his usual sarcastic routine, but it didn't land the same without Melody to challenge him. Stormy tried to stir the pot, but fans weren't buying it. It felt forced, not natural. Production became chaotic. There were walk-offs, passive-aggressive interviews, and tons of reshoots. Without someone to tie everything together, the scenes felt scattered and pointless. Cast members weren't fighting because of real issues, they were just trying to stay relevant. There was no emotional core, just noise. OWN tried everything to save it. They changed plots mid-season, edited around new feuds, and even flirted with the idea of making Martel look like the hero. But let's be real, Martell without Melody isn't compelling. His whole presence on the show worked because of the tension between them. Without her, his storyline lacked depth. Fans didn't hold back. Comments on OWN's official pages were brutally honest. "This ain't it. Where's the real energy? Bring back Melody or just cancel it." The message was loud and clear. Viewers weren't just disappointed they were done. Instead of rooting for the show, they started rooting for Melody. Fan accounts were dedicated to her. They reposted her old clips, followed her every move on social media, and supported everything she touched. OWN noticed. Fast. They offered Melody a guest appearance deal, reportedly the highest-paying offer any cast member had ever seen. She'd get full control over her scenes, approval rights, and could choose who she filmed with. But she said no. Not out of ego, but out of principle. She reportedly felt used. Like they had mined her story for ratings and left her hanging when she needed backup. And now that the ship was sinking, they came calling again like nothing had happened. She wasn't interested in patching up a show that only saw her value when numbers dropped. OWN panicked. They started pitching spin-offs, soft reboots, new cast members' cousins, friends of the cast, even people from other OWN shows. It was all desperation. But fans weren't fooled. The trust was broken. Then came the final sign of trouble. OWN started quietly floating the idea of ending the show if ratings didn't bounce back by the season's end. A series that once ruled Saturday nights was now on the edge of cancellation, all because they underestimated the one person who built its success. OWN released one more flashy trailer, loud music, dramatic edits, quick cuts, promising fireworks. But the comments told the truth. "Looks fake. Where's Melody? You can't fake what's missing." The magic was gone and the audience could feel it. Meanwhile, Melody was glowing. She wasn't hiding. She was working, growing her businesses, releasing music, speaking at events, and turning her social media into a full-blown brand. She didn't need the show. She was the show. OWN reportedly offered her a full spin-off, built around her life, with full control. But insiders say she hesitated not because she couldn't carry it but because she didn't trust the people offering it. She had already rebuilt her life once. She wasn't going to risk it again. Fans kept waiting. Watching her every move on YouTube, Instagram, and live Q&As. Wondering, would she return? Was she working on something new? She didn't need to slam the show. Her silence said everything. OWN continued to scramble filming test scenes, asking old castmates to recreate past arguments, even considering bringing back forgotten characters. But the spark never came back. The numbers confirmed it. The first episode without Melody was one of the lowest rated in the show's history. Social media chatter dropped. Even the most loyal viewers admitted, the magic is gone. It wasn't about loving or hating Melody. It was about the realness she brought. She lived her story. The others were just playing a part. In the end, Melody didn't just walk away from love and marriage, Huntsville. She outgrew it. And that might be the most powerful storyline of all. So, what does all this mean in the bigger picture? Melody Sherry didn't just walk away from love and marriage, Huntsville. She walked into something bigger. She didn't just leave a show, she left behind an entire system that tried to squeeze every drop of her story, her pain, and her personality for ratings, without giving her the respect she deserved in return. And that's the lesson here. This wasn't just about a reality show falling apart, it was about a woman reclaiming her voice, her power, and her peace. Melody reminded all of us that you can outgrow a platform, even one that helped make you a household name. She showed us what it looks like to walk away from something that no longer serves you, even when the spotlight is still on. And maybe that's why her story still hits so hard, because it's not just about TV anymore. It's about choosing self-worth over fame. It's about healing in public, but growing in private. OWN thought they could replace her. They thought they could keep the same formula, change the face, and the magic would stay. But they were wrong. You can't manufacture authenticity. You can't fake a presence that comes from living your truth. And you definitely can't replicate the kind of connection Melody had with her audience. Her silence? It spoke louder than any reunion episode ever could. While the show scrambled to recapture what was lost, Melody was building on her own terms. She wasn't chasing relevance, relevance was chasing her. And now, the fans have followed her not just because she was entertaining, but because she was real. She let people see her mess, her recovery, her glow-up, and her growth. She became proof that reality TV might introduce you to someone, but it doesn't define them. So if you're watching this and wondering what happens next, don't wait for Melody to go back. She's already ahead. The question now isn't whether the show can survive without her. The real question is, can reality TV evolve enough to keep up with people like her? Because Melody didn't just create moments. She created a movement. One that said, you don't have to stay where you're not valued. You don't have to be the story they'll watch, you build your own. And that's a legacy no network can rewrite. So OWN may still be pushing trailers. They may still be airing episodes. But the viewers know. The spark is gone. The Queen has left the stage. And in doing so, she reminded everyone watching you can be the story, and still walk away from the script. If you liked this breakdown, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a story. Celeb Nova will have it all covered for you. This is Celeb Nova, where the drama ends, and the truth begins.